Right now, somewhere in your kitchen, there is a bag of chips calling your name. You know you're not hungry. You ate 2 hours ago. But something in you wants that salt, that crunch, that grease on your fingers anyway. You tell yourself it's a lack of willpower. But the real answer is far stranger. That craving is not weakness. It's a message from people who died 50,000 years ago. Your body is a time capsule. Every cell inside it was built by ancestors who never saw a grocery store. They never saw a vending machine. They never saw a drive-through window glowing at midnight. And yet somehow, their hunger still lives inside you, whispering the same instructions it whispered to them. So why does a donut feel like happiness? Why does a salad, no matter how fresh, rarely make your heart race the way a slice of cake does? To understand that, you have to go back. Not a few years, not a few generations. You have to go back to a world where food was never guaranteed.
Picture a small band of early humans moving across a grassland in Africa, roughly 2 million years ago. There is no refrigerator. There is no pantry. There is only what the land gives. And the land does not give generously. Anthropologist Katharine Milton spent years studying the diets of primates and early humans, and her research revealed something crucial. Calories were scarce. Fat was rare. Sugar, in the form of ripe fruit, was seasonal and fleeting. A body that didn't crave these things, that didn't chase them the moment they appeared, simply did not survive long enough to pass on its genes. Think about that for a second. Craving wasn't a flaw in early humans. It was the entire survival strategy. Every time an ancestor found a beehive dripping with honey, their brain lit up with reward. Every time they found a fatty piece of marrow inside a cracked bone, that same reward system fired. Dopamine surged. Their body said, remember this. Remember exactly what this tasted like, and remember where you found it. Because next month,
there might be nothing. There might be a drought. There might be a long winter with only tough roots and bitter leaves. The brain that overvalued sugar and fat wasn't broken. It was brilliant. It was preparing for famine that hadn't happened yet. This is the part that changes everything. Your brain still runs that exact same program. It has no idea that famine is no longer the default condition of human life for most of the people watching this video right now. As far as your ancient reward system is concerned, every donut might be the last donut you ever see. So it tells you, eat it now. Eat all of it. You may not get another chance. But scarcity is only half of the story. The other half is cooking. Primatologist Richard Wrangham proposed something that reshaped how scientists think about human evolution. He argued that the moment early humans learned to control fire and cook their food, everything changed. Cooked food is easier to digest. It delivers more usable energy per bite than raw food does. Wrangham's research suggests that this single shift may have fueled the growth of the human brain itself, because a smaller gut and a calorie-dense diet freed up energy for a bigger, hungrier brain to develop. Here's the twist most people never think about. Cooking didn't just change human anatomy. It also trained the human palate to expect intensity. Roasted meat, caramelized roots, the smell of fat sizzling over a fire, these flavors are stronger, richer, more concentrated than anything raw nature offers on its own. Your ancestors' brains learned that the best food is the food that hits hardest. Sound familiar? That's the entire architecture behind a fast food menu.
Salt, fat, and sugar, stacked together, hitting as hard and as fast as possible. Modern food companies did not invent your cravings. They simply reverse-engineered them. Neuroscientist Nicole Avena has spent years studying how sugar interacts with the brain's reward circuitry. Her research shows that sugar can trigger the same dopamine pathways activated by certain addictive substances, not because sugar is evil, not because you're weak, but because your brain evolved in a world where sugar was a rare and precious signal of safe, energy-rich food. A ripe fig hanging from a branch was never a trap. It was pure survival. So when sugar hits your tongue today, your brain still responds the way it did for your ancestors standing beneath that fig tree. It says, this is good, this is safe, get more of this while you can.
The problem is the world changed faster than your biology could keep up. Ripe fruit used to be seasonal. Now, sugar is in almost everything, all year round. Fat used to require hours of hunting or scavenging. Now it's wrapped in plastic, 3 steps from your couch. Your cravings are not malfunctioning. They are perfectly calibrated instructions for a world that no longer exists. So what does that mean for you, standing in your kitchen at 11 at night, staring at that bag of chips? It means the craving is not a personal failure. It's an inheritance. Every single human being who successfully survived long enough to have children passed down a brain that prioritizes salt, fat, and sugar above almost everything else. You are quite literally descended from the best cravers who ever lived. The people who shrugged off sugar, who ignored fat, who didn't feel the pull toward calorie-dense food, their genes often didn't make it this far. Yours did, because your ancestors wanted food badly enough to find it, fight for it, and eat it while they still could. There's something oddly comforting in that, isn't there? Your willpower was never really the issue. You are fighting instincts that were sharpened over millions of years against a food environment that is only a few decades old.
That is not a fair fight. That's not a character flaw. That's a mismatch between ancient hardware and modern software. But understanding where the craving comes from changes how you can respond to it. You don't have to pretend the craving isn't real. You don't have to shame yourself for feeling it. You can simply recognize it for what it is. A message from a hungry ancestor, standing in a dry season, staring at a rare piece of fruit, terrified it might be the last one for weeks. That ancestor is not trying to sabotage you. They're trying to keep you alive, using the only tools they had. Somewhere out there, right now, someone is opening their fridge at midnight for the 3rd time, wondering what's wrong with them. Nothing is wrong with them. They are simply doing what nearly every human who ever lived was built to do: chase the rare, the rich, and the intense. Because for almost the entirety of human history, that instinct was the difference between starving and surviving. The next time you feel that pull towards something salty, something sweet, something rich enough to make your mouth water before you've even taken a bite, remember where that pull came from. It didn't start in a factory. It didn't start in a marketing meeting. It started on a grassland, in a body very much like yours, belonging to someone who had no idea their hunger would still be alive in you tens of thousands of years later. So the next time that bag of chips calls your name, know that it isn't really the chips talking. It's every ancestor who ever went to bed hungry finally getting an answer.